and it's recording.
Okay.
And you all are not muted.
Oh, thank God.
Nice.
Last session, we stabbed some hands. Or no, we didn't even stab the hands, but we made sure they can't.
We gave it a
Right.
leash. We gave it a harness and a leash.
Yeah.
It's our new pet. Oh, we should keep it as a pet. No, we scraped the tattoo off.
You
We
broke
scraped
it.
the tattoos off, yeah.
You
broke it.
It's still
semi-permanently
alive.
broke it. It is still alive.
Because I already know
it's
what we would
Take the
name that.
tattoo back
It's
up
in
there.
suspended animation.
Yeah, yeah.
But
if we
yeah,
were to keep it, I know a name right off the top of my head.
Thing?
Jake knows what it is.
Thing, yeah.
If Alex was here and his mic was working, he knows what it would be named. Not Thing. Come on. Mr. Hands.
Oh, God, no.
or Mr. Hand.
Mr. Hand.
Singular, yeah.
It's the
Singular.
one hand.
Yeah.
John, do you know
Mercifully, we
about
don't have
that?
horses in this party.
About what?
Mr. Hand?
A little bit. I mean, are you referring to the South Park reference or
No.
No? Oh, it's something else.
Unless
Okay.
South
Something
Park
else.
is alluding to the, I don't know. The
It's
South
really,
Park thing.
it's Alex's story. Alex likes telling this story. We'll talk about
Yeah.
it once we're not, once there's not evidence that's being created.
Yeah.
Because
Just
we're
Google it.
recording,
It's an
Jake. This
information
could
hazard,
be
though.
Exhibit A.
Do you guys know the concept of information hazards?
This
Something
is an
that's
information
like-
hazard.
It's painful to learn
Yeah.
about. It's
Yeah,
probably better
don't
that you
Google
don't
this.
know. That's
Don't
what Mr.
Google it.
Hands is. But yeah.
You want something a little more festive, like a party with lemons in it or something.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm still
yeah,
in the
so
chatting
it's
mode. Joe, be
Friday.
quiet.
It's Friday, and we're here on DOK. And I'm trying to salvage a Friday because I prepped for it, and we're going to do something.
It's my bad. Listen, my story was just
okay.
about meat swing or meat spin.
What about your meat swing?
No,
Is
Jake
meat
and I had.
spin
I don't think the
Okay.
website's up anymore, but we had a friend. Jake and I have a friend, and one time I just opened it up in his laptop, and then we walked away. And like when he got back, like it's like you've got a high score for watching this for like 18 hours.
It was,
It was
funny.
great. That's great. Anyway, Joe, I apologize. I will stop interrupting you for at least 30
He
seconds.
won't.
You're fine. But
Okay.
yeah, it's Friday. Friday here on the DOK channel, meaning
Mm-hmm.
we're playing Anvea. And we're a little delayed because technical things, as in typical DOK fashion.
Yes.
But that's fine. So, yeah, and then we're down to Dan because he is fighting. He's in
Science.
a IRL combat encounter.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah.
Dan's
Yeah,
At the
a
grocery store.
Rolling Constitution saves
Yeah.
as we speak.
Yeah. But he'll be fine. So yeah, last time, what happened? You guys didn't. It wasn't the fight last time. It was the aftermath of the fight
Mhm.
with the two knights and the one dude.
that's right.
You had sent him on his way. So you guys were traveling back from town name. I forget.
Chalupa.
Oh yeah, it was Chalupa. You guys named it Chalupa. Yeah, you guys were traveling back from Chalupa back to Westreach to get your reward for killing the Grusk and then having its body. On the way back, you ran into a hollowed out Echo Warden. He had got his head hole punched out and just kind of was. It's like one of those bladeless fans, you know, where it's just like a circle.
Oh, a Dyson.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fine. We own the
That was his
copyright to
head.
that name, so we can say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think anything's reserved on that.
No.
But yeah, ran into him. He had been attacked by some sort of weird creature that you guys had passing knowledge of. Some sort of like weird vulture thing that was affected by Echo Blight. Dan rolled ridiculously well to heal it, and because he was undead, it just incinerated it with healing magic. He got 6 successes on
Yeah.
it.
It was
Which
stupid
was just-
high.
It was.
out of like 8 dice or
Oh,
something like that.
the
It was
roll
like-
is still there. 8 dice, 6 successes,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
22
So
points of healing.
just one shot that guy.
Yeah.
Healed him all the way back to dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely annihilated him. But yeah, from his body, you picked up. Echo Wardens always have these little like medallion kind of things. They're like this long, just weird looking metal, almost like a little metal cylinder that they have. And it identifies them, and it's kind of like a pass that they can show to lots of different institutions that recognize them, so they can get free lodging and equipment and stuff. As they're kind
Redeemable
of
at all KFCs.
yeah, it's like one of those frosty coupon things. Yeah, for Wendy's. Yeah, but yeah, because the Echo Wardens are kind of like the janitors for all this Echo Blight stuff that spills out into the world every so often. No one else wants to do it. What?
This is an audience and player poll. Opinion of dipping your French fries in your chocolate frosty from Wendy's.
Never done it.
I'm very pro.
It's okay.
Yeah, I always put my fries on the burger. So
Oh, I've never done that. Jake, I thought I've known you, but
Fries on the burger are good if it's like really, really crispy fries.
yeah, like
And you don't
Wendy's
get-
current fries are good for it.
The thing with fries with me is I just always eat them as fast as I can because like
You don't want them to go
they're-
bad.
Yeah, they have a shorter half-life than everything else on that plate.
Listen,
you know.
Joe, you've got something to really look forward to. Is that, you know, you're still a young man when you finally get hitched and have some kids. It's when you get sent out to go pick up fast food. It is the right of the person picking up the fast food to snack on fries from everyone's fry container.
Yeah,
Fucking
fry
car
tax.
fries. Yeah, it's a fry tax. That's exactly it. And
Yeah.
you get those fucking crisp choice fries then.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's the only part of like whenever I get fast food, I eat that in the car and then I eat the rest like wherever.
That's why when I
yeah.
go pick up fast food, someone has to escort me because I will eat like half of everyone's fries.
Yeah. But back to the game.
Back to the game. This is your fault, Joe. You're like, let's hop on and chat.
Yeah. But yeah, so you guys traveled back, you wound you killed the undead Battlestar Echo Warden guy. You picked up his little medallion. You know that it's kind of contraband to have that medallion.
Didn't we turn it in?
We're going.
You haven't turned it
We're
in
going-
because
Okay.
there's not a place in town that's
Okay.
like an outpost. There's places in town that recognize it.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like contraband to have it, but it definitely people will look at you weird because it's pretty easy to tell who Echo Wardens are, and if you have it illegitimately,
buried in my pack.
Okay.
So.
I knew someone
Yeah.
else had it,
it's
but
one of
yeah.
those. Yeah. One of those things where your story better be like, oh yeah, we're on our way to turn it in, and
Yeah.
here's our plan on how to do that. Otherwise, people will get very upset at you, or they'll try to take it from you because it gives
That's-
people free things.
Honestly, what I'm a little more concerned about is someone's going to find out we have it and try and shank us. That way they can get free KFC.
Yeah, right. Because typically, people that aren't Echo Wardens that have these things are easier to kill than the Echo Wardens are. But yeah, so you guys had that. You traveled back into town. You ran into the knight guy from one of the Catherine Inquisitor guys. You haven't talked to him yet, but you found where he was lodging because along the way, I think it was Chuck. You had the spell focus or the
Yeah.
casting focus.
I took the cufflinks
Or
for someone else in the party and I still had them.
Mhm.
Yeah. And because you had them, you guys noticed that there was like some rustling in your bag. And as you investigated it, you found the severed hand of that spellcaster that you guys had killed. And it had detached itself and made its way to you to try and grab the cufflinks and bring them back to the body.
Could we say that that hand was in the same pouch in my pack that I keep my Slim Jims?
Sure.
That way we could say it was rustling my jimmies.
Sure. It was rustling your jimmies.
Okay,
Looking
thanks.
for those cufflinks.
I appreciate it, Joe.
You're welcome. Luckily you guys had the thought to harness it and like tie a little rope around it, because it seemed to have a spell on it. It wasn't like intelligently or autonomously thinking. It just had this like ingrained Roomba process almost, where it's go to the cufflinks. When I get the cufflinks, turn invisible, and then return to the body. Luckily, you guys had tied it up, so when it turned invisible, you still knew where it was. You had the little leash on it.
Yeah.
And it led you back to the inn where the knight was staying, because he had the bodies of his other fallen knight comrade and that spellcaster dude. He was going to bring them back and dispose of them as they normally do. And he seemed to be a little bit of a funk. You guys had kind of shattered his worldview a little bit. Gave him some information that maybe he's getting a little bit more brainwashed by the Inquisitors than he knew. And you saw him just kind of like stewing in the corner, kind of out of it. You went up to his room. You found that every single limb had been enchanted with that same recovery spell. So after you guys broke the spell for the hand, the other hand detached and the other feet detached. And you just kind of left those as presents for this guy to run into when he returns to his room. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that you guys did. You turned in the Grusk body and got paid out. So got your payment for hunting down that monster.
I concealed the book and got some
yeah.
flashes of yikes.
That was the other thing. Yep. So the way the last session had started too was you made a spell attempt to like used divination magic to break the kind of like the enchantment that was on these, or at least mask the enchantment. You're doing like a little magical Faraday cage thing with these books that you had. And you succeeded at doing it, but you didn't succeed to a degree where the people were unaware of you casting that magic. So you linked up a little bit as you were interfering with that, and you saw into the mind of the guy doing this sort of like scrying magic that was locating these books. You got a vision of a cursed library that was way out in the deep basin. You saw a vision of like this militant group of people disassembling the whole library, bringing it back piece by piece to their capital city, Catharis, way up in the north, and then reassembling it deep underground. And there being some sort of like culty thing going on with that. There's a faction you've heard in the ranks of the Catholic Inquisitors that are not actually trying to destroy all the knowledge that they're finding. They're trying to like use it, learn from it. Saw the knight, he's been saying like all he thinks is that they're just collecting things and destroying them, and they don't want to even dabble with trying to use it for mistakenly like causing whatever happened. Like the knight guy seems very out of the loop of what's going on with all this stuff. He's very much been indoctrinated with the East was messing with some weird magic stuff. We don't know what they did. Safest thing is just to delete it all. And so you got this vision of the cult that was using this magic stuff. They had reassembled this library. They had all these spaces where the books were supposed to go. And that seems to be how they're scrying back and finding the missing books that used to belong to this library, which you have 2 of. And his eyes kind of met with you. So he seemed to have seen who you were and where you were from that as you cut him off. And you were pretty sure that you broke the scrying, but he got a little information out of that as he did that. So yeah, and then we ended with you guys having just been paid by Hugh Donahue, the Centaur bounty hunter. He's more like a monster hunting agent than he is a monster hunter himself. He's good at finding jobs and delegating them, not so much getting involved himself. But he did pay you guys out. And then you went to the inn that this night guy was staying at. I don't know if you guys ever actually got his name.
It was Franklin. Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
I forgot to look through the episode and see if that, because I picked a name for him, but I couldn't remember if I had told you one. And then you guys had also started traveling with one of the wizard guys that was a part of the East Lock Initiative.
Oh yeah, we hired him
Deacon
to be
or
our
something like
animal
that.
tender.
That's right.
Yeah, Deegan. Yeah,
Deegan.
you had hired Deegan. So he was one of the people that tried to ambush you your last time that you were heading back to this town. He's got these like magic gauntlets on that bind his casting ability and just nullify it. So he's not able to tap
Shit,
into
lollygaggers.
Mara or do any sort of magic stuff.
Welcome to the raid. We are
Hello.
running late tonight, so we're actually just getting started. So you all showed up just in
We
time.
are. Yeah, doing our recap. But yeah, he has these like gauntlet things. There were actually two of these guys, and you asked them if they were going to keep doing some fuckery, and one of them gave you an answer he didn't want, so you executed him. The other guy, he ran away, and you let him live. But now you've recruited him, so he's traveling with you guys and tending to your goats and such, because you guys have a lot of animals.
As a matter of fact,
got,
we
like,
picked up
goats
a
and
new
chickens.
one last time too, an ox.
All right. Yeah, you traded out the
Like a
horses
J-Ox,
for an ox. Yep. Yep. Yeah, so we're gonna pick it up with you guys at the tavern. And I guess you could either be the night before you rest, if there was anything that you wanted to do in that same night, or we could say it's like the next morning. I think you guys were also wanting to stay at that tavern that this night guy was at, but you had been avoiding him, so I wasn't sure if you guys wanted to interact with him after you messed with his stuff in his room, or how you wanted to play it out.
I think we need to talk to him. Let it be a mystery.
Honestly, I don't give two shits about talking to him. Of course, I'm the one keeping a watch on him downstairs. But also, after you guys are done and come back down, I'm fine with getting a room here. I mean, like, you put a hand in my room. And we're like, what the fuck are you talking about, Chief? And we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Deny,
Everything will be
deny,
great.
deny.
Right. Okay. I'll say you guys get a room. You have your long rest for the night, so you guys can reset that fatigue, do your healing and such.
It's
Don't tell me what to do.
How's the healing work again, Joe?
So healing is you heal by your lowest attribute in each health pool, or your highest attribute in one health pool.
I am actually at full health right now.
I'm almost at 4.
That's what I get for doing things from a distance.
Yep. And if you guys have been mainly just getting physical damage, it hasn't been a whole lot of stuff doing mental or fortune to you guys. But
Joe,
yeah, so you wake up.
Getting physical, was that a reference to Gremlins 2?
What?
Okay. Never mind.
No, I don't think so. But yeah, so you guys wake up. It's the next morning. You didn't hear any strong reaction as the guy returned to his room. He seems to be there in there still. Is anyone interacting with him today, this morning?
If I see him, like, I'm not avoiding him after the fact. Like, howdy, stranger.
Yeah, I'd say you guys run into him at breakfast the next day. He like kind of stops and is startled a little bit that you guys are here. You see that he looks over you guys a lot. He particularly pauses on Deegan and looks him up and down. Seems to kind of focus on his wrists for a little bit, where you see the shackles, and then says like, "Oh, I thought you guys were wasn't aware you were returning back here. Hello again."
Well, howdy. Oh, no, we were doing some monster hunting, and we just had to turn that in.
Yep.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That thing in the cave that we
Interrupted.
met at,
Yeah.
where you killed my friends. Yes.
Yes, you should reevaluate 33% of your friend group.
Half of my friend group?
Well, there was 3 of you. Oh, I guess that's right. It would be 50% of your friend group. I was counting you and them. Don't reevaluate yourself. That's an existential crisis. 50% of your friend group was shady as fuck.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's reevaluating
A little
himself
bit of
as we
that.
speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I returned to the room, I found his hands and feet had detached themselves and were in this sort of suspended state of animation. And they were all like these weird, cut up, fleshy stubs. It wasn't a sight I was expecting to see.
You know,
I
that's
can't
not right,
imagine anyone
right?
would. Yeah, that's messed up.
But I guess it kind of lends to what you were saying and what the librarian lady also said.
Yeah.
She was not very happy to speak with me.
Probably
But
not.
she did corroborate your story of there being some shadow creature that was sent to her. And I helped her put a few things back together.
Well, that was nice of you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many times we've done that. And I'm curious how long he's been doing things like this.
Well,
Also, I'm not sure why his hands and feet were detached and why they waited,
that's
why
fucked
they
up.
did that at that point in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah. Well, listen, buddy, pal, when you head back to your organization, if you start asking around about that, just please be careful. Because if it's more widespread than you were thinking, and I mean, there's a super creepy evil dude traveling with you, and there's a chance there may be more. Just be careful. If you start asking around, could become dangerous for you.
Oh, and another thing.
So,
And as he comes over to your guys' table, he takes the 2 books out. He sits them down. And kind of he squints his eyes a bit as he's staring at you, and he opens up one of the pages. It's like, I'm able to read this book.
why did you even try to read it?
Well, I noticed the books weren't exactly, usually they seem to kind of match. They didn't really look like how I had remembered them. And you guys gave me a lot to think about, so I may have pried it open. These are not the books that we had. So,
Do you think your friend switched them out?
I don't think my friend switched them out. I'm pretty sure you guys switched them out.
Why would we do something like that?
But
We made a deal with you.
I'll say you gave me enough to think about that I'm not upset.
Okay.
But again, I would like to reason with you that holding on to those books is not a good idea. They're able to find you. It's, I'm not going to try to take them again from you, but
So
there'll be more that do come.
I appreciate the warning. I really do. Lonan, Al, same sentiment? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always nice to make acquaintances who
Now-
look out for each other.
Yeah.
Now, I got to look at it like this. My math is correct here. 33% of the party that came after us was an evil shadow summoning bastard. There's supposedly these super powerful books. And the 33% that was an evil shadow summoning bastard was kind of in charge. Which,
Sort of.
that's at least what it
we
looked
were-
like for us, outside looking in.
He had hierarchy over us within our unit.
So, I'm
but
not
he did
wrong.
have superiors he reported to.
Well, that's fine. I'm just saying, if more of the superiors are like him and these books are super powerful and dangerous, you can see our reasoning for not wanting to send them back to what could be a very evil group looking to use them.
Sure. I'm just glad I looked at them before I handed them over to them and got executed for lying about the books that I had.
You know, I didn't think about that, and I do
Yeah,
apologize.
Yeah.
That's more what I'm upset about.
Yeah, I apologize for
But-
that. Listen, if it makes you feel any better, we don't intend to use the books.
Yep.
We don't intend to bring the end of this region. But
Appreciated.
if we can find a way to figure out if they are what caused the thing or if they're not, or maybe if they are super bad, if we can find a way to permanently destroy them, that's kind of what we're going to aim for, right, guys?
Yeah.
That was my intention.
Or if we get lucky enough to find a way to make it all reverse, that'd be better.
Oh, yeah.
But
If these books
I don't
did
plan on
cause the
digging
destruction,
through to do that. Yeah.
we could just control Z that shit with these books.
But yeah.
That's what some have said, but
If it makes
we
you...
have a
Oh, I'm sorry. I interrupted you. Please continue.
that is what the goal of one of our factions was many years ago. The name that you had mentioned too, that you had heard, Jasper, he was the one heading that up. It was a little troublesome that you had heard that name as well.
Mhm.
So that gave me some more to think about as well.
As far as
But-
we've heard, Jasper's still alive and well.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
I don't know
not
how
good.
well he is, but
That's true.
alive.
Yeah.
Alive.
Still exists.
Yeah. Do you know about cavitation
But-
bubbles?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
But yeah, I was hoping to just return, and I know who. Gosh, what's his name? I don't want to say the wrong name.
Samson.
Wasn't Samson?
Gregory. Did we name it or did you
What
name
was
it,
that?
Joe?
I named it.
Oh, we have no
Rometh.
way of guessing.
Spellcaster guy. His name is Rometh.
Yeah.
And
He had a name?
What?
He did have a name.
I just called him Evil Bacnouche.
I have a name as well. Matthias.
Matthias, it is
Uh,
good to meet you. My name is Rudigar.
Lonan.
Nice to meet you as well.
Lonan, is that how you pronounce that?
Lonan? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I've been calling you Lonan.
Okay.
And it's Ahab,
Lion.
by the way. But Al works too.
Oh, okay. I'm just
And
going what's
your
over on the
friend
overlay.
Here, he's gonna look at Deegan, and then his eyes are gonna go back down to his shackles. Like, is your friend here part of why you're privy to so much of this particular knowledge about our factions and people and books and things?
Honestly, no.
Yeah, this guy just kind of jumped us.
Yeah. We were going to kill him, but he seemed to be an alright dude.
He jumped to you. Is he not an escaped prisoner from Cathris?
Well, no, he's not escaped. Well, maybe now? When we met him, he was not. There was a hunting party that tried to kill us, and he was a member of it.
Capture us. Yeah.
Those shackles, yes, very common in our prisons.
Yeah, anti-magic.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was here, driven here by other members of your order, tried to kill
Well,
us.
We have a spare pair of those
Specifically-
shackles if you want them.
No, we can't give those
specifically,
over.
Those the anti-magic, the nullifying shackles are we're not the first people to create
Okay.
those. They've been around a while. Those specific ones, the way they're made, their designs and such are from my land.
Okay.
Oh, so do you know how to unfasten them? 'Cause
Yeah.
we'll give you the shackles, no problem.
I know not to attempt to do that, but
Okay.
there are people back where I'm from that would
Well-
know how to do that.
In general, he's an okay dude. He's just looking to not die. So we've hired him on for now. But yeah, he was. I don't even remember what the other guys looked like. I killed them from a distance.
Yeah, they look like people.
Yeah, but they were commanding
dudes.
them, and they commanded.
They had some sort of like knockout gas or something.
Oh, they had guns.
Yeah, they did have guns. I have one right here.
I got a bullet
Deegan-
hole right here.
Deegan would interject. He's like, "Yeah, we're not a part of anyone from Kethris or from the East Lock, or the guys digging the big trench out to the east."
Fuck, I forgot he can talk.
And that seems to be confusing to Matthias, who's. But Deegan would interject again and say, like, I've seen people that are dressed kind of like you out when I was in the trenches. I haven't been back in a while. I'm one of the deaders, not one of the trenchers. I try to send people back because I'm not. The magic that I knew was not very useful for digging trenches. So I do more kind of healing and plant things. Not so much a digging kind of person. So that's why I was out here. But there were many people that were dressed the way you were, and I believe they were the ones that were selling the East Lock these shackles.
Hey, Deegan, were you? I want you to think really hard about everything you saw with like how they're digging this trench. Was it really a trench? Was it? Okay. Did you ever come across anything while digging?
Are you
like
familiar with
buildings
Full
or
Metal
anything?
Alchemist Brotherhood?
No.
Okay.
Is there? I mean, we were right on the border. We weren't digging through. We were digging in the part of the earth that wasn't destroyed. I don't know if you've been out that far, but there's a pretty there's a clear line on whatever the East did to themselves. There's like rock that's part flesh and all gross and stuff, and then it just kind of abruptly ends. It like tendrils out a little bit, but
It is a bit silly that they wouldn't make you more use of your services as like a healer and general medical knowledge if it's all turning all fleshy. That seems like it'd be
Useful.
yeah.
Or even just the fact that you've got people digging, keeping them healthy would be nice.
You would think they weren't too concerned with our well-being and churned through us a lot.
and it's
Wasn't exactly wasn't really like we were workers. It was more like indentured servitude, slavery kind of thing. It wasn't very good. And people were often kind of down in it's a very deep trench, like incredibly deep. You can't really see the top almost. It's very wide. They've been digging it for a very long time. And
does
yes,
it
we would
be working.
It makes it easier to stop things from coming across. There are some flying things that make it through every so often, but often there would be things that try to jump the gap, and they would be shot by like ballistas and things, and they'd fall down on top of us while we're digging and wouldn't be dead and cause some problems.
I can imagine.
Some things would dig from the east and fall into the trench as well and cause problems. There's a reason I very quickly tried to get out in any way that I could.
Fair.
I'd much rather be out here.
With the animals, because we're making a traveling petting zoo.
Yeah.
Like
Poop was easier to shovel.
Not so good with animals as much, more with just
get better.
plants, but
get better.
they're all right.
Yeah.
I do very much prefer it.
Well, I'll tell you what, if we can get those handcuffs off you and you can kind of work as our healer, then we would be very interested in hiring a new animal keeper and just keeping you on as our, traveling doctor. We can go town to town. You can cure illnesses, keep us healthy.
I would very
help
much
the
like to
small
do that
people.
again.
Meet a
That's why I got
nice
picked up
lady.
in the first place.
Yeah.
Eastlock's very good at finding magically inclined people that are by themselves.
Oh, you were a traveling doctor?
Yes.
Well, we're going to be doing a lot of traveling, so
For time.
Oh, speaking of magically inclined people, I got this recently, and I'll pull out my new well-crafted holy symbol on a gold chain. How do I make this into something that I would use to, you know, ooh,
How to make it a spellcasting focus?
yes,
that's
yeah,
way
one
too
of those.
meta. Like, talk down to us a little bit.
It's in game. We call it a spellcasting focus too. It is in-game terminology as well.
Okay.
Your material seems to be good. The base material, the higher quality it is, helps. There's certain people that are good at enchanting and imbuing things with magic, and those people have their way. It's not something I've done myself, but all I know is back when I did my traveling things, I started with a similar sort of holy symbol that was mine before it was a focus, and I brought it to someone and they turned it into one. It was a little expensive, but it was worth the sentiment for me.
Expensive, huh? Well,
Yeah.
since you two are spellcasters, would either one of you know how to focusify this?
I'm not a spellcaster. I'm an arrowcaster.
What would be required for such a thing, Joe?
So you can burn resources to add the focus tag to things, but they have to be of the context of the type of focus that you're trying to make it. So if you're trying to make an arcane item that is a focus, you have to burn arcane items to do that.
Would this be something I could use urban or common for?
Unfortunately not.
No, I don't intend
You could
to
use that
speak
if
with
you
rats,
were-
more angels and the like.
If you were trying to find someone that would be able to do that, maybe.
I mean,
Like,
arcane's not
gather
really my
information.
area of focus. I mean, the closest thing I currently have would be the music box we got.
I don't think that's a religious artifact, though.
I mean,
No.
yeah.
So what I need is a stack of holy books to destroy. Is that what I'm? Almost seems blasphemous, but
So the other thing you would know, or like another thing, so one of the abilities in this game is transmutive materials, and that lets you burn anything to do like those types of tests. You can exchange any type of item. Usually the people that are doing enchanting stuff have that, where they just turn scrap of almost anything into whatever they need, and they can do it across context. It doesn't matter. And those are usually the people that like you just pay to do stuff.
That's a banana boat worth of
But
bits.
if you were wanting to like do it yourself, yeah, you'd have to like take a religious, if you're trying to like make it a religious context item and keep that context, and then give it the focus thing, you would have to burn another context religion item to do that.
Okay, Steven just bought us 2 rerolls, and he just bought Joe some trouble.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Joe, we need a document called Bits and Shit.
We do.
in the journal that we all have ownership over. Oh, I'm sorry. 3 boosts, 1 reroll, 1 trouble. My bad, Steven.
Speed journal.
Mm-hmm. Create new.
Let's just do a new entry. It's tracking. We'll do show all players. Everyone's an owner.
Woohoo.
There you go.
I need you to
record
create
there.
a page for us.
Oh. Beats.
Nice. Did you make us owners of it?
Yes, I think so.
It's not letting me.
Are you able to edit it?
Hang on.
Says,
Oh, there we go.
Says
All right.
everyone's owner. Cool. Yeah, with that, Theus would say, like, yeah, if you're trying to get those shackles off of you, I don't know a good way to do that without going all the way back to Kethris, which is where I'm headed to inform my superiors that there's people like, I forget the name again, Rometh. There's people like Rometh in our ranks that are doing some shady things, such as detaching their limbs, and I don't know why he did that.
If Deegan were to go back to Kethris, would he be immediately arrested and thrown into prison because of the shackles?
No. Don't. If he is not an escapee from our prisons or anything, which I don't think he is, and he looks at Deegan. Deegan's just shaking his head. Like, no, I'm pretty sure Kethris wouldn't care if he was a part of the East Block Initiative. They're separate. Sounds like there's business dealings between the two, but I don't think they are. I don't think they would care about his like servitude to them or such. Although I'm not 100% positive of that. So there are lots of people that I'd be able to find that are not necessarily an official channel that would be able to deal with this as well. These are pretty common. I have a friend that used to be a warden that's retired, and he'd be able to.
Cool. Group huddle?
Yep. Group
Yeah.
huddle.
Okay, yeah, group huddle. So, I know we just got Deegan and he's looking after the animals, but do we just want to send him with Matthias? Kind of. I mean, no. Okay. All
I
right.
mean,
we'll go to Kethris eventually. Yes, I mean we have to do something
I
about
get that. I'm sorry, Abraham.
It's Ahab, but it's Al's
God
fine.
damn it! I was close. I'm just gonna stick with Al.
Yeah. I think now I'm not. I don't mean to speak for the group, but I think we're going to kill a guy in a red coat. Yes.
I don't see why not.
Eventually?
Yeah. So we'll be headed that way anyway. So he can stick with us.
Yeah, and
Okay.
here's the thing. It's not like I don't trust our buddy here. I think he's a good dude. But I think I don't trust the group that he comes from not to immediately throw our new friend in jail or back
Right.
at digging the trench.
Yeah.
So I definitely think our new pal sticking with us, hanging out for a while, get the shackles off of him, let him do some good in the world. Maybe he finds a place to settle down here where he doesn't have to be afraid. Or
But he really wants the shackles off. I think
shackles
that's the
have
thing.
to come off. I agree with
Yeah.
that. Yeah. But yeah, eventually, maybe if we learn some
I
more.
would say
Yeah.
some above the table knowledge, and I'm not sure if you guys remember this from what he said last time. So kind of the two options for getting the shackles off are he knew of a outpost of the East Lock Initiative that was in that city to the south. So he knew there would be people that would be able to take it off there, but like the risk of them being a part of East Lock and wanting him back is a lot higher. And people in Kethris, the risk is only if they're working with East Lock, but there's probably more people that are unaffiliated that just would be able to have side knowledge on how to remove those in Kethris. So it's a little bit safer for Deegan. But it's also where the head of these Inquisitor cult people are. So general danger with that type of stuff is a little bit higher, but for just the shackles, it seems a little bit safer.
You muted, Chuck.
How fucking dare I? My youngest is still up and was making a lot of noise. No, we still have the backup pair of shackles. So that's our guinea pig to see if we can find someone in not dangerous areas to undo it.
Yep. The backup pair of shackles, you could, because you were told not to attempt to get them off. There's like a trick to it. So potentially you could use it as like practice.
That's
if you're willing to risk someone else that you find.
well, I guess that's the question. My assumption is these shackles are still locked because the dude who was wearing them died and the hands were just cut out from around the shackles. So the plan would be to find a way to open them as is without sacrificing anyone.
The shackles do not stay latched while not on somebody.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do about this because my initial reaction is like, if we just got to stick it on a living thing, we got a fucking zoo. But I'm not going to be able to risk one of the animals.
I mean, I'm sure we'll find, and by find, I mean, we will find living people that we will make dead, but we'll find dead people along the way.
That's
surely.
true. And I guess the other question is if we come across another group of assholes from that group, fucking ambush them, slap the shackles on, show us how to take these off, and you're free to go.
That's positive thinking right there.
Yeah.
I would say it's probably fair that you've discussed that potential strategy with like finding other East Lock people. And what he would tell you is like the people, the debtors that are sent out to search for people and send them back to the trench, you typically do not know how to remove the shackles. Like there's usually people only at outposts that know how to remove it, which is the only reason on why they're trusted with leaving.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's because they don't know how to undo them.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of the people that leave usually are equipped to remove them.
Well,
I'm thinking of it this way. Okay. And this is kind of why it's not just pure altruism here. I'm like, oh, poor guy. We send Deegan and Matthias together. Maybe they get buddy, which is good. Matthias needs someone to balance it, whatever. But then they're both in Ketris, and we follow along a little later. They will have the opportunity to basically do some recon work for us.
That's fair.
And that gives us some contacts in there without having to, necessarily go sniffing around.
We're not going in super blind.
Yeah.
All right. That's a good idea. I like that.
Leave it to the guy with more than two eyes to know how to gain information.
Yeah. All right. No. That's a good way to put it. What's the name of this fucking guard guy?
Matthias.
I'm not going to pronounce that, Joe. Come on.
Matt.
It's Matthias.
Matthias?
Matthias.
Matthias. If we can get Matthias, because he seems like an honorable dude, like get him to promise us to make sure that this, our buddy here gets treated right. Because I think he'll do his best. For that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, and he would say, the chat's funny.
Spot on there, Steven.
But yeah, Matthias, he would say like, "Oh well, I've this is new information to me that these shackles are being used outside of our prisons." But kind of like I mentioned earlier, I do have a friend of mine that used to be a warden. He's retired now. I'm sure he still remembers or is able to remove those. And he's a friend of mine. He's not really affiliated directly. He's out of out of work at the moment. So I would trust him to remove these shackles without uh, endangering Deegan here.
All right,
Okay.
I'm good.
And from what Matthias has said too, he's like he even though he has his he's these doubts about the organization, overall he's very convinced that the majority of the inquisitors that he's with are good. Like he thinks this is a very slim minority of people within it that are that. So he's like, my plan is just to go and talk to not the direct superior above of him, but a few runs up. I have a few contacts. I'll report them to him. Maybe a few at the same time. But I'd be very surprised that anyone above him was very involved. It's pretty antithetical to what we do. To
Keep your eyes and your mind open.
Yeah, like I hope you're right, buddy. I really 100% do. But I also worry for your safety if you're wrong.
Well, yeah, but I don't see the last few times we've had these sort of cult things, they've been stamped out. I doubt the one that's resurging now is much traction to them.
That's the thing with cults. They do a really good job of passing themselves off as not cults.
Do you have a point? But they've never been endorsed by our Inquisitor Order as a whole, or by military, or anyone outside of that. So I'm confident we'll be able to expose who's a part of this and stamp them out.
Breaking immersion for a moment, because I convinced my oldest to get something for me. Anyone want to take a bet when I'm drinking out of a coffee mug what it's full of?
Jägermeister.
Fuck you, Jake. I texted my oldest, like, don't tell mom, but I need you to bring me my bottle of booze that's in the freezer. That's fantastic.
Get nice and cold.
Good job, Jake. Good job. You get an extra 50 points for tonight.
Is that
Right.
like an enormous bottle of Jägermeister, or does it just okay? Because I didn't know if it was the camera making it look cartoonishly large in your hands or not.
No, this is a 1.75 liter bottle of Jägermeister.
Ooh, that's a large bottle.
So it is a little over 2 regular bottles of Jägermeister.
Yeah.
Because I like to buy it and just have it in the freezer for a while. And it's there.
Chuck's not the one that drinks 2 liters.
That's Joe. I drink 1.75 liters.
Yeah. I haven't drank a full-on 2 liter in a while, I don't think.
Yeah. And Steven, that's exactly right. My oldest did not tell Ashley. Like, they like fucking ninja rolled into the room. They brought me a bottle of old beer that I have in the fridge. I'm like, no, did you read the text? It said freezer. They're like, oh, and then they bring me the Jaeger. That's the only reason to have kids. They'll get stuff for you so you don't have to get out of your chair.
I'm pretty sure. That's what it says in the manual.
John's just like, no, that's not right, Chuck.
No, I'm just like, that's not what mine does.
Oh, no. I'm sorry,
No,
John.
she more texts me and she's like, I desire food. I'm like, but can't you make it? I'm in the middle of gaming. I can't step away.
Oh, I guess that's where we diverged, John.
Yeah.
Because like mine would text me and be like,
terrible.
They'd be like, I'm hungry, bring me my food. And I'm like, fucking starve.
Thing is like my kid would, so I'm like,
Yeah.
Hunger strikes are effective.
Yeah.
yeah.
No.
But
My
back to the
youngest,
game.
like, he doesn't even want my help. He's just like, I got shit set up. The mug says, I survived another meeting that should have been an email.
Yeah.
I bought this. So we were doing a white elephant gift exchange at work. And then the day that was supposed to happen, I'm like, I don't feel like interacting with people. So I called in sick. And I just kept the mug.
Fair.
Yeah. Anyway, Joe, I apologize. Please continue.
You're fine. Yeah. Where were we? Matthias.
I guess.
Taking...
Well, almost all Kansas. 75% Kansas.
Yes. Chuck is working on his percentages today. His night class math class is going to be so happy.
They are. They're like, I used percentages like 4 times, got it right 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's like 75%. Shit, there's 5.
Oh my God, look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
35%
better be
alcohol by
careful at
volume.
this rate.
75% Kansas.
It is
Heads can
35%,
explode.
Jake. That's good. You know your Jaeger.
I know you're Jaeger.
Oh, thanks, Jake. I appreciate that.
I'll say to you. So another question. Back to the game.
What?
How dare?
You had your vision of the scrying thing after the first time you had interacted with this guy, I believe. So I don't think you've relayed any of that information to him.
When I was like hiding the book, basically.
That sounds
right.
right.
The mission. Yeah.
Right.
And that was
Let's see.
after meeting Matthias and sending him on his way the first time.
Yeah. You had met him, talked to him, put the seeds of doubt in him, sent him off, masked the book. But then, no, I think you had told him that you guys had to go back to town.
Yeah.
To get the books. And then you masked it in the middle of that. Yeah. So then you got the vision. And then you barely talked to him at all after that. So this vision, any of the details of that, I don't think he is privy to.
I don't believe so either.
Yep. So I guess that's the other question. Like he's fine taking Deegan and setting off to Catharus. Like that was his plan next. And he's like, oh, if it's just Deegan, he can ride on the back of my horse. And I've got the...
Doesn't he still have spare horses?
Oh, he does. Yeah, he would have the hit of 3. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Deegan could take a horse with me, and we'll just ride up.
And he's got experience handling animals now, so
he does. I would, before we agree to this, I would like to pull Deegan aside. Another huddle, us plus Deegan, just to reconfirm that Deegan wants this.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. You pull him over. It's like, what are we talking? What'd you have to say?
You want to go with Matthias to Catharus? Maybe get those shackles off?
I've heard Catharus is a pretty messed up place, but
it's up to you, buddy.
To be in the class of people that are not super messed up by it.
He seems pretty good.
John, you said you were from the north originally too, right?
Yeah.
Matthias definitely rings. There's kind of like a upper and lower class big division in Catharus. And Matthias definitely reeks of like upper class type, like even though he's a part of like the Inquisitors and they're basically like paramilitary to them. The only people that are in that like Inquisitor group are usually either like people that were in the upper class, people that decided to enlist on their own, or they're kids of people that were important. Like, and then the lower class is probably what you were part of as you left and got out as you could. those people are definitely not treated as quite as well. They don't get the same provisions and things. They have to deal with the elements a lot more. So life's a lot harder for them. So Kethris is difficult to be in, but you would also know that if you're with Matthias, it's probably not going to be that bad. Like he would be at the better parts of what the city has to offer.
Okay. Yeah. He's probably got some connections there a little bit higher up. So
He seems like a good, honorable kind of
Yeah.
guy too.
yeah. And then Deegan, if you do agree to go with them, just keep your ears open, keep your eyes open. We're probably gonna go do some stuff and then meet you up there.
Yeah, and it's up to you, man.
Cult place.
Yeah, if you want to go. If you don't, totally cool. You can roll with us.
Yeah, definitely. You're free to hang out with us.
His shackles.
Free also to go with him. He may have a better chance of getting those off before we can.
Yeah.
He's like, well, the sooner I can get these off, the better. I was planning on soloing kind of down to the south, and that was much more of a coin toss, though. And if I would run into someone that would take me back to the trenches, so I marginally like this option better. But all this talk of like the cult and stuff's a little off-putting, especially it's the vision that you were talking about that you had.
Yeah. I don't expect you to, you don't have to necessarily, just like I said, eyes and ears open. If you hear something or whatever, just try to remember it, but you don't risk yourself to like go and nose into things. Just
so
I don't really know anyone up there, so
sure. So I'll tell you what. We'll talk this guy into hanging out here for another day. We'll hang out here for another day. You take that time to think about what's best for you. You can ask us questions. You can ask him questions. At the end of that day, you come let us know what you want to do, right? If you want to stay with us, we'll keep paying you to tend to the animals. We will make it a priority to get those off of you safely. But we can't guarantee that it'll happen. If you want to go with him, you're absolutely welcome to. We'll see if we can, scrape together a few things maybe to send you off on your way. That way you're not going empty-handed. He may have a better chance of getting those off of you sooner, but at the same time, the place he's going to, I can't guarantee that it's not super fucked up. Of course, we intend to go there in the future as well, but I mean, hopefully by that point we can get those off of you, and you don't have to follow us there if you don't want to.
And you don't have to necessarily stay there if you don't want to either.
Also true.
He said, like, hey, my concern, I feel like I'll be fine getting there, getting the shackles off. I trust him on that.
Yeah.
I just get the same sort of just a kind of aura of naivete with him.
Oh yeah.
I feel like he's going to get himself in a lot of trouble the second he gets my shackles off.
Starts asking questions. Yeah.
And then I'm going to be stuck there, and I don't know anyone there, and I kind of don't want to travel through the tundra that I'm unfamiliar with by myself to leave, because I don't know how long I'm going to be able to stay there. And if he gets himself in trouble and I'm the one that showed up in town with him, I'm pretty sure I'll be in trouble too.
That very well could
but
be.
I really want these shackles off. You have no idea.
Like I said, let's take a day.
Yeah.
You can ask us questions, you can ask him questions, and then whatever decision you want, we will happily respect.
Yep.
You guys plan on going to Kethris as well? Or is there a reason you don't want to come with us now?
Is there a reason we don't want to go there now? I think just so we can grind a little more and increase our capabilities.
Yeah, I mean, we could go there direct, but we would effectively be going in blind. So that's...
Yeah, I think our plan was to travel around this area a little
Pretty far
more,
away.
Yeah.
build up our strength,
And
learn more information.
well, calling it direct is a little bit of a
Bit of a slog.
it's a pretty far trek. It's one of the furthest cities from anywhere. It's
So
as far north as you can go.
let's
much.
just, it sounds
So-
like you know the answer. Traveling with wagon, because that's what we've got.
Mhm.
How long would we be traveling to get there? If we just straight there.
Straight there.
Well, I mean,
Um,
there without any detours or distractions, just taking the safest route to get there.
Probably a good 3 to 4 weeks.
So with how we get sidetracked, we're looking at a couple months. What do you guys
It's
think?
pretty far away. John, you would know that for sure.
Yeah.
Like, it's
yeah.
there's like
It's
a
quite a ways.
lot, and plus there's not really the way the maps and roads and stuff work. There's not really a direct path from where
Yeah.
you're at. Like there's no diagonal across
Yeah.
the whole map to go there. Like you'd have to go like east a while, then north a while, and then like back up a little bit. Like if I go on the map, the way the path would kind of go is let me free and draw. Where's the free draw? Free draw.
Yep.
Actually, I should move this token back because you guys are back here now. So the free drawing, like, it'd be kind of like going this way and then like this kind of to get up there. That'd be about 4 weeks.
Okay.
That's like the most direct path. There's not really, from what you guys know, there's like not really anything in this area. There's not like any cities or anything on the map in this region. There's probably still things there, but there's no like roads or trade routes or anything that's like
Right.
right there. There's kind of like a highway that splits there and then goes down to Tulshamir to the south. Yeah, so that's like as direct of a route as you go. If you don't sidetrack off that at all, it's like about a month. If you're just trudging straight there.
Faster. I take it would be faster for them on horseback.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just the two of them riding straight there, with Matthias being familiar. Like that's probably the route that he took to come here.
Mm-hmm.
Like they could probably get there in just at 3 weeks, maybe a little bit less.
Okay. Well, we could just follow them, and we just go at our pace. They go at theirs.
We certainly could. I mean, I
Who
don't
knows
know.
what we'll find on the way.
That's kind of my concern.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I got a mouthful of Twizzler right now. If they go on their own,
Mm-hmm.
I am sure we're going to get sidetracked. We're going to find people that need help. We're going to find loot that needs plundered. 3 weeks for them could easily be 2 months for us. And how is he going to fare if things go sideways there?
Yeah.
Badly.
Joe, would it be possible that I have any contacts that I could like clue him in on to like people that I would know?
Absolutely.
I
Would
got
that
people
be
up there.
Yes.
urban or common?
For you, it would be urban or common.
Okay.
Holy shit, Joe.
Yeah.
And what kind of skill would that
You are
be?
not echelon, and this would be the contact skill.
Contact.
Mhm.
Don't have that one, but that's okay. I can still roll. Yeah.
Yep, it is a luck.
Lucky.
And you being from there and having the context. So before you roll it,
Mm-hmm.
The kind of the way you're setting this up is how specific are you going for? Like you have to kind of say like what you're aiming for out of this contact roll, because that's
Okay.
going to set the difficulty for you. And the way contact works is if you fail it, whoever you established that you know, you still know, but it's not a positive relationship. It's a
Gotcha.
negative relationship. So if you could be really specific and be like, oh yeah, like the head of the military knows me, or the head of the like whatever knows me, and that'll be a lot of successes. And if you get it, they do know you and they're favorable with you. If you fail it, that's a very important person that is now personally not happy with you.
Sure.
But if you're trying to do something like really, really general, like, oh, I know people that are friendly and they can direct you, that's like only going to be like 1 or 2 successes at the most.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for. Folks that I would know that were kind of trustworthy. Definitely not like anyone big name. I'm not looking to get a lot of attention or anything, but just good people to know, like, maybe some childhood friends or something that I was on very good terms with the last I talked to them, that sort of thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, roll it.
All right.
2 successes. Great.
I'll take it.
Yeah, and that's so with that being a critical success, you would have a group of friends that they're a pretty tight knit family. Like you were friends with some of the boys in that were about your age, but they've got a very, very close knit family. They're not well off, but they're well established. They all help each other out pretty good. So you'd be able to clue them in there, like, hey, if things go south, even though you won't be in like the better part of the city, there's these people, say my name, they'll let you.
Yeah.
Like you'll be good.
Okay. Yeah.
So
yeah, I know.
Absolutely.
I know some people. Give him details and be like, just so you know me. They'll probably know who I am. We grew up together, so they will look after you.
Great. Yeah, with that, he's like, okay, I feel a lot better with knowing that.
Sure thing.
And yeah, so that not totally, but definitely improves his odds of him like faring well up there.
Very nice.
Yeah. That's the first contact roll of the game, too.
Right?
Wow.
Joe's like, I made all these fucking skills. Stop using fighting skills for everything.
It's fine.
That's what we do.
I mean, it's okay. I'm not upset about that because the fighting ones are the ones that are like need to be balanced the most, like numbers wise, because all the other ones are just kind of story dialogue-y. But it's good. Yeah. Got a good group of friends that he'll be able to ingratiate himself with or fall back on should Matthias get himself in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
All right. And along the way too, right about here is a pretty major city that would have a place that you could turn in your warden sigil.
Okay. Cool.
Oh.
Your Echo Warden sigil. This city would also have it too. Like, there's probably a place at Kethris that would have a place to turn it in. Definitely a place here to turn it in. Definitely a place here to turn it in. Pretty much any of these like cities that are notated on the map have a place to turn in that sigil. Those are pretty big places that everyone just kind of knows where they are.
So Rudigar,
Yeah.
I have a thought.
What do you got?
So there's some, and it's going to be our cover for why we're going to Kethris.
All right.
and any place that we stop along the way. But we're gonna need to buy some paint.
I am down for that.
All right. We're doing a petting zoo. We're gonna need signage.
Oh, I like that even more.
So we're gonna have to do some things, and maybe we'll have to pick up some more animals.
Oh, you've twisted my arm. I am on board.
Thought you might like that. That's our
Fantastic.
cover.
Yeah, so you want to turn like your cart into like a petting zoo attraction.
Mobile petting
like,
zoo, man.
Is that what you're going to do?
Yes.
Certainly. Yeah, I would say you're in a little bit of a smaller town, but it's not that far after the festival that, people probably have some of those things offhand. Everyone always buys too much paint and stuff, whenever there's something like that. You can never order the exact amount of paint that you need for things. So
more
probably wouldn't be that
multicolored, the
hard
better.
to scrounge up some of that stuff. I'd say it's pretty cheap. I'd say just like a D6 worth of resources to outfit your cart,
Sure.
petting zoo wise.
So only real resources I have right now is I've got my D8 bounty voucher
Mhm.
and my rucksack, which I kind of need.
Yeah, I got my D8 bounty voucher as well. So
Could we expend that bounty voucher? Like if we pool them together, can we use it to kind of like get supplies for the road as well as leftover supplies to get our wagon decorated up as like a mobile petting zoo?
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll gladly throw
and then-
my voucher into the. Yeah.
And even though like I drew this out as one travel, this is not going to be one travel
I didn't figure. Yeah. There's going to be
thing.
stops.
It's going to be broken into, So it's going to be traveling between each like city or major location along the way. All right. Yeah, you're for sure able to do that. Let's say if you want to burn 2 vouchers, then
Sure.
you'll be outfitted for the next trip. And you've got like even a little bit fancier than what you're kind of going for this petting zoo. It's like they repair the wheels a little bit and the axle. They repaint the whole thing, straighten out some of the bars and such. You get good like threshing and stuff on the bottom for the animals. Like it's a lot. They do more retrofitting than was done before on this like prisoner thing, and now it's like it looks like it was actually meant for animals now rather than just you stuck animals in a prison cell.
Handle that.
So yeah, definitely sells it a little bit better.
You know what we need to find, Rudigar?
What do we got?
Is we need to find an old mountain lion or tiger or something that just doesn't give a shit anymore. And it can
Okay.
just be
I
part of the
mean,
petting zoo.
right now,
If it wants to.
yeah. I mean, like as much as I love Brian Crabston, he's not a petting zoo attraction. But
Right.
Puffin Daddy, that's all she goat. Punky and Hennifer, sure. I really don't think that Michael J. Ox is a good petting zoo. But yeah, I think you're spot on there. If we can find like
Well, I mean, we hole up in a
big
town, give them a couple of hours to rest, and then we can charge a few things of pocket change to let children ride them around. That'd be fun.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Until some children get trampled. But that's a risk. It's a risk.
You know what? That's why we're mobile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It is.
a lot easier to avoid consequences of your actions if you're mobile.
But no, I think that's a good idea. We travel. As we travel, we build the zoo up more. That gives us a better excuse when we get there. Plus, while we're traveling, we're going to be making money.
Mm-hmm.
Upgrade,
Yeah.
look fancier. We can all get fancy like fucking suits and shit.
And we can practice our own animal handling kind of thing.
Yeah,
Maybe we can train some squirrels or something.
Mhm.
We could train a squirrel and get a little pool. have it ski around the pool. Be better if
Sure.
it was a chipmunk, but we'll take squirrels.
Yeah. All right. Let's see.
That's a good idea. All right, I am
Unless there's
deleting.
anything else that you guys
Yeah, no, I'm
wanted
deleting
to
my
do in
voucher.
Westreach.
Yep.
I like my concern would
Cool.
be getting the stuff to decorate the wagon, getting just supplies for the road, and supplies for the animals. And that's we got 2 D8 vouchers. Is that
Yep.
what I heard right?
Yeah, I'd say burning 2 D8 vouchers is enough for all of that, for sure.
Okay.
You've
No
got
problem. Definitely
your
worthwhile.
thing well outfitted, your animals are taken care of. We're saying Deegan's kind of doing that maintenance
Yeah.
to like that's part of why it's a little bit cheaper as well as like him being there like appointed to it.
Sure. Joe, what
Taking care of a lot of
skill
that.
would animal handling fall under? That just be
It depends
compelled
on how you're handling the animal. Yeah.
with charm and respect? Because I love these animals.
It's like if you're trying to get it to do something, like compel, you know.
Okay.
If you're trying to get feedback from it, that'd be like the insight
Okay.
or discern.
All charisma
like,
skills.
That's
That's
why
what
it just kind of
counts.
depends. Yeah,
'Cause my
charisma helps.
charisma is a 4. All right.
Yeah. Alrighty. Is there anything else you guys are wanting to do in West Street? Have you pretty much decided like you're wanting to set out? Like,
So I guess the question we have still as a group, are we sending the 2 of them ahead on their own? Or are we asking them to hang back and travel with us?
I like your idea of having them talk and see what they want to do first.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
get to know each other a little bit.
Let's
I think
give
that's a
them
good
that
idea.
day
Yeah,
let the
and
2
give
of them
that
decide.
choice, you know, yeah.
Okay.
sure.
Joe,
I'll
you have to
say-
talk to yourself now.
Yeah. We'll hand wave. The day goes by. When you join back up with them, you see them kind of loading up. Thias is on his horse. He's got the other horse next to him that he's kind of towing along that's got the 2 bodies of his friends. And then the other horse is there. Deegan talks to you guys, says, you know, like, I appreciate you guys giving me a day to think it over. But, you know, I was nervous at first, but knowing that there's a place I could fall back on in case things go sideways, which I like, he kind of like whispers under his breath a little bit. So Matthias is here. He's like, he's going to get himself killed or something. I feel good about it. But knowing that, I feel a lot better, and you guys are coming along behind. I guess, yeah, because he's going off ahead, he won't be taking care of the animals like while you're traveling. But he's like, I want to get these off as fast as possible, and this seems to be the best lead I've had on it. This is the first like hope I've had in a while to get back to my normal self. And
Oh yeah, and we're heading that direction too. We're going to be slower than you, but
Yeah.
that's another fallback too. Shit goes sideways, just follow your path back and you'll find us eventually.
Yep. Yeah.
right. Yeah, and then you guys over this too, like you've kind of talked about what the route's going to be, and Matthias would also kind of be the one that explained this route. He's like, this is the best way to from here. This is how we traveled here. One thing Matthias would say too is he had planned on going a lot further west. He said that Romath had been talking about something on the edge of the Duskwood that they were going to look into. He's like, he didn't give me enough details on that, and I don't really know what he meant by that. But he never did any of his like scrying things to point us out that way, so I don't know why he was going there. But figured I would mention it.
Yeah, I appreciate
I don't
that you did. I don't know if we'll follow up on that, but I appreciate that you did.
But
It's not
I'm
follow up on it right
happy
now.
to take your friend, and we'll head up to Kethris. I've got my warden friend ex-warden that'll take care of his shackles, I'm sure, quickly, and we'll be there waiting for you. And hopefully I'll have more information on this resurgence of are old past. I'm sure won't be a problem by the time you're there.
All
Okay.
right, man.
I'm sure of
careful.
that too.
And he'll kind of nod off at you guys and turn, and they start to leave, and Deegan hops on the horse after and waves at you guys. It's like, see you in a month, and
See you later.
Okay.
heads out. And they ride off. And we'll say it's like kind of the morning at this point. Time to set out. And you guys set out after them, I'm assuming, pretty much shortly, but just not really keeping pace with them because they're running a little bit faster. You've got the cart. You've got an ox, too, so it's a little bit slower. But
Yeah.
We load up and head the opposite direction.
Oh shit. I suppose. I mean, like he mentioned that thing to the west, but
Yeah.
it sounds
It does put us a
interesting.
ways over there.
But yeah, I
I'd
don't
like to
think
check
we
it out,
should.
but that's quite a ways out of our way.
Yeah,
right.
that's campaign 2.
Yeah.
That.
Just a little seed, you know.
Yeah.
But let's say you guys set out as well. You go past, there's like a little bit of a fork in the road where you went to the last town that you were in, and you go past that. And it's only like a little bit south of this main road that you're along. And you guys inch your way along. And where we're going to leave off is you come to another fork in the road. But it's not a very big one. The forest has kind of moved in a little bit. There's kind of like these sparse forests here and there. A lot of them have been kind of like burnt away or eaten away. I don't know if you guys have ever seen like a forest that's been ravaged by beetles, or I don't know if like any of you have been in those types of areas, but like you've seen a lot of forests that look like that, where there's like lots of these husks of trees that have all these holes in them from things that have eaten them out, and they've all died. There's a little bit of greenery and shrubbery that's kind of coming back, but you just see lots of these just kind of dead forests that you're going by that are slowly coming back to life. And the air is a little bit more damp in this area as you're going across, and you see there's a fork in the road. There's a little signpost that says Mutton Brewery.
Oh, I like it. Get some more meat
looks like the sign hasn't been
booze.
upkept in a while, and you see off in that direction there's kind of like a hill. This dead forest kind of wraps around it. You can kind of make out some buildings way off there, but it looks like kind of a marsh almost, which is strange. You haven't seen like any rivers or anything in the area, so that sort of landscape doesn't really even make sense in this area. As you guys are kind of looking off of that, you hear this horrible screech as this thing flies overhead. You see this big shadow sweep across you. You see this strange vulture-looking creature way above you fly overhead, circle around, and kind of roost on this rocky thing above this brewery.
Does it have a
That's where we're going
tube-shaped
to-
beak?
Could say that.
Oh boy!
I really don't like that.
Yay!
Seems to be nesting at the top of this, and we'll end it there.
Yay.
Okay. Existential dread. Good way to fucking end that, Joe.
Oh yeah. So yeah, next time here in a week we'll pick up. You guys can decide if you want to go to this brewery or not, or just trudge along ahead. You sent off Matthias and Deegan up to Kethris. Matthias is sure he's going to find the corruption in his cultist order, root him out. Nothing bad's going to happen. But luckily, Deegan has some friends of John's to fall back on in case anything goes south. And they're friends that are not in like the upper part of the city too, which is another good thing. They'll be kind of removed from anything should it happen. Not that it will happen. Not that anything
Not
will
at
happen,
all.
But you know,
I'm sure
if it does,
It's gonna go super
Yeah.
good.
Super great.
yeah, nothing bad ever happens trying to look into corruption. Yeah, that's where we'll look at to next week. What else do we have going on the channel, Chuck?
Well, let's start with tomorrow. Everyone that you see here, along with Adam, and Alex is more than welcome to if he can get his audio figured out, because he's got new audio equipment. That's why he's just a name in the corner tonight, because his new audio equipment's being mad dumb. But we're going to be doing a one-shot, a spooky Halloween autumn themed one-shot of Teenage Odyssey set in October. I got the date set. It's October 17th, 1992. And the entire adventure will take place in a Fairway grocery store. So that's tomorrow night here on DOK. Wednesday night, we'll be doing our Dungeon Crawl Classics, Night Below. John's in that. Dan's in that. Jeremy's going to be MIA for a couple of sessions, but we'll handle without for Bowdy. John, what do you got?
Tuesdays and Thursdays on the DOK YouTube channel, we have new episodes of the Oops All Goblins game, our Pathfinder 2nd Edition actual play of the Age of Ashes adventure path. It is chaotic fun, and yeah, closing in on towards the end.
Yeah, we are. And I actually got the last session's episodes edited and uploaded and scheduled. If you were watching Tuesday, our episode came out at 3 p.m. because I got confused what the A and the P means when you select an 8. So I fixed that partially through the day. And I'll let you finish, Joe.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
No, you're supposed to say we're going to be back next week.
We're going to be back next week. Playing more Anvea. It'll be episode something like 10, I think.
That sounds
9 or
right.
10?
I can check for you real quick, Joe. Hang on a second.
Isn't tonight 7 or 8?
Fucking math. I've done enough math
Numbers
for 1 week.
Numbers are hard.
You're good at
Maybe
percentages,
9.
Chuck.
Yeah, that's
I feel like it's 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Sure.
Last Anvea episode was 7, so this is episode 8 that we're recording right now.
So we'll be 9.
Yeah, next week is 9.
There's a thing I'm forgetting to do. EXP questions.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't remember that. It's been a pretty light session for all that kind of stuff. But I suppose that's good because we're down a few people anyways.
I think we just ended up with session and story, right?
Yeah. I would say so.
John is the only one who made a roll tonight.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I succeeded. So
it's true. Yeah. So no one failed. No one pushed and took harm.
Nope.
No one had any conditions that they had to remove. No GM boons. So participate and story.
Nice.
2 XP for everybody.
Hey, that gets me what I want, because that gets me the fucking talent or whatever it's called that I was wanting.
Oh, enough for a new advance. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to take priority.
Ooh.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right, Joe, finish our closing out.
Yeah, well, thanks again for watching, everybody. Sorry it's a little bit of a weird timed episode, but it's all good. Just setting up story and plot for what we're going to be doing in the next few, probably the rest of the campaign. There's a lot to do in Catharus and all the kind of the direction that you guys are going. So, but, me saying that now, you guys are going to go somewhere totally else. And yeah,
Joe,
that's just how it goes.
We're gonna find the portal that shouldn't have been there, and
Yep. And you'll stand half on it and half off it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
That's how
God.
that works really well. Remember, when you find blinky, glowy rocks, smash them. That's the first thing you should do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Check out all of our stuff, as Chuck pointed out, and then come back here in one more week to see some more Anvea. Have a good night.
That's it.
Later.
Goodbye.